What's up, guys? Chuck and Brian here. Wednesday, July 10th. We have 57 days left until the NFL season starts. We're on draft number 29. Brian, how we doing today?
You put it that way, man. It seems like we don't have much time left at all. I've been enjoying my off season, and now just immediate stress has overtaken my body with that announcement. So now I'm doing okay. I was doing great, but now I'm doing just okay.
Yeah, before the stream started, we were talking about how many drafts we have to get in the next couple months, like how ready we are for it. I have to do 10.75 drafts per day, actually. 613 drafts remaining of the drafts that I have planned. That's not even including any new contest, not including the contest that dropped today on Underdog. Got a few new ones. The Golden 3 $10 entry, winner take all, 25K to first. Fairly small field. Are you going to throw an entry in that one?
Yeah, I might have to for 10. I mean, for $10, how can you not? Winner take all is interesting. I mean, how much more variance can we ramp up in a single entry winner take all? Like we're already playing for first in these large contests. I don't even know what else you can do to make that even more likely to hit in a single entry winner take all.
I will say 1 out of 4, 1 out of 5 with the 23 seed final for the playoffs is pretty
That's
great.
nice. That's pretty sweet.
We have the Pug 2 3 entry max, $12 entry. They brought back the 15 seconds per pick. I just drafted one of those before the stream. 15 seconds. I'm actually coming around to it. Didn't like it at first, but kind of love it now.
Okay.
And Hound Dog 2 5 entry max, $6, and it's 20 second per pick. It felt a little long. I'd rather just do 30 if I'm going to do 20. So
That's fair.
Just a few new options from Underdog today.
Dude, those are gonna, these are gonna fill like probably by the time the stream ends.
Oh yeah, they'll be filled tonight. That's why I wanted to make sure I got one in, because it happened yesterday too. There was a contest on another site that filled during the stream. I thought I'd have time, but nope.
God, yeah, man. NFL's gonna be here shortly, and I'm just thinking of showdown videos are coming soon. Preseason's coming soon. Like it's all gonna stack up here pretty shortly, and all this time I'm enjoying outside playing golf is gonna come to an abrupt halt.
And we got Jose in the chat. What's up, dude? Nice to see you on an NFL stream. What's up, fellas? Ready for the NFL season to begin? Hey, man. Like Brian just said, it's like it feels so far away, but we're more than halfway there.
Yeah, we really are. And from a viewing perspective, I am more than happy for it to come. From a workload perspective, not so sure.
I mean, this was supposed to be my slow time of the year, but we got NBA Summer League starting in 2 days. It's like full on draft season, so I'm ready for it. I forgot to mention, Underdog also dropped the season long NHL contest, Best Buck Classic, 15 entry, 25K to first. Pretty decent playoff format, 2 out of 10, 2 out of 10, 100 seat final. So if you're into hockey, there's something for you super early.
You gonna throw any into that?
Hockey is the one sport I haven't gotten into for best ball. Like I can't get into baseball, but I love baseball best ball. I don't think I can get into hockey though. I don't know. I tried.
Come on now. Yeah, don't sell yourself short, Chuck. You see some edges. You see some overlay. I'm sure you'll throw some in.
It might come to that. Yeah, I mean, just do a couple hours research on Twitter, see what other NHL best ball guys are talking about. I mean, the same stacking principles apply as baseball. So if you play baseball best ball, then you probably have it down already.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, beautiful. We got the second pick yesterday on stream with Chris. We got the second pick today. So since I have Brian on today, I'll just pull up what my opponents are doing when they draft CeeDee Lamb over on Underdog. See if we can find anything here. Did you happen to catch anything from the stream yesterday on the combos?
I didn't catch any exact combos, but I know the overall discussion that you guys were talking about, and it is really eye-opening to see it put in this way. So shout out to this tool. Because we know from just talking about it and doing so many drafts, we know that certain players with certain ADPs will line up specifically. But to see these numbers and to see actually how many combos are being drafted together, when in reality we know that these projections are median projections generally that are driving ADP that end up with just a handful of points apart. Like, why not just drop down a couple spots or reach a couple spots to end up with a combination that's like 1% owned? It's pretty crazy to think about.
Yeah, and it's like guys like Brandon Ayuk, Chris Olave fall to you. Like you got to just take them every time because it's very, very uncommon. I mean, you can reach for Cooper Kupp and just get insane leverage versus Devonta Smith. This does have the Week 17 correlation, so I kind of get that, but it's interesting to see how extreme that is. We are going to take CeeDee Lamb here.
Okay, cool.
And
It's so
then
funny, really
go.
quickly. It's so funny you say this. So, friend of the show, Bob, he's my longtime friend. And he's been drafting a bunch of best ball teams this offseason. And I think he caught the stream yesterday or the day before. And he's been trying to implement some of these combinations, combinatorial techniques into his drafting. And he took Puka really early. I want to say it was like 1-3 or 1-4 to try to get a different team. And and he was texting me literally for like 12 hours back and forth about it was a slow draft. I'm gonna take Puka. And then he was debating, do I take DK in the second round or Cooper Cup in the second round, trying to get this mega LA Seattle stack. And we both agreed that, Cup is gaining a little bit of steam, but probably just, I haven't seen him go higher than 3-3 really. So just take DK in the second, guarantee that, and get Cooper Cup. So he takes DK in the second, and then Cooper Cup goes 3-2 and throws all plans out the window. So you can try to do as much planning as you can, but sometimes you just get sniped even when you don't expect it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's why we talk about, you got to take each draft as it comes. You can't force anything. You can try to do certain strategies.
Yeah.
But what you just made me think about, so I was thinking about this with Garrett Wilson yesterday. It's hard to illustrate with CD because he's never falling to like pick 11, but like let me just pull up Garrett Wilson real quick. So people just are not drafting from the other side of the board enough. They're not reaching an ADP, and you can see it like very clearly here with Garrett Wilson that these guys that are 12 picks in ADP away from him, one way or the other from the 11 spot, I should say, are just being underdrafted. And so what you just mentioned, like, what if we take Garrett Wilson at pick 5 or pick 6,
Yep.
and then we just get a whole different lineup with Garrett Wilson, different than the other Garrett Wilson teams, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And instead of reaching later, you're just reaching 5 spots or 4 spots or whatever in the first round. So it's a different concept. And if you're drafting so many teams, like you can certainly do that. I wouldn't advise anyone do that after drafting just a handful of teams, but yes, same exact concept. And I would love to try this out on this stream with CD Lamb just to see what you come up with by taking someone across the board, and whether it's round 3 or round 5.
Yeah, it's like Tank Dell seems like the easy one that I have a ton of exposure on, but I have apparently just no combos with CD, Christian McCaffrey, Tyreek Hill, because I'm always taking, the DJ Morris, DK Metcalf, Kyron Williams, whoever's in this range. And so just getting a little different there. And then I was thinking about something like in the second round, taking Tank Dell with like the 15th pick and then getting two third rounders instead of our second rounder. That's another way to get a little unique too.
Yep. All these are just excellent ideas of diversification in large drafting sets.
And one thing that I want to keep in mind is don't overdo it, right? Like if you play DFS, the same concepts kind of apply. You don't need 3 1% guys in your lineup. If you have 1% guy in your lineup, maybe you do one other thing different. That's probably enough already, especially in this type of contest.
Right. Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because you don't need to just reach at every pick, and then you're just overdoing it. So, yes, no, that's extremely right. Because you can play ADP, you can play stacking, typical correlation after you make this one move, and that's your point of differentiation, while still remaining competitive and grabbing value and building the right way after that selection.
So I was going to take Jalen Waddle because he was the lowest owned. We could go for Devonta Smith, even though he's the most common stack partner, and then get Cooper Cup, who's very low owned, and that might be enough to get a little different. So like we can still take Devonta Smith, even though he's the most common stack partner. They have the week 17 correlation. I like that a lot.
Agree.
And then we can just go for the 4% stacked Cooper Cup. And then like to take it even one step further, we can see who people are stacking after they take Devonta Smith here.
That's true too. And even like Hurts is only 5% owned with CD Lamb, and because I imagine most people aren't reaching for him at 3-2. So, Hurts plus Devonta plus CD Lamb is a pretty powerful combo too in the playoffs.
I've seen this a few times where the AJ Brown guy passes on Jalen Hurts and just no one takes him again until the Devonta Smith guy does close to this turn again. So I think seeing this, like Cooper Cup and CD Lamb combos were low. DJ Moore had more combos with CD Lamb, but with CD Lamb and Devonta Smith, only one other person's taken DJ Moore there, and he is my favorite guy to pick here. So actually, I take that back. Like Mike Evans, I think Mike Evans is obviously the chalk pick. Or I guess not actually, but he seems like the obvious pick, but we're going to go DJ Moore.
Okay, cool.
And
so this is interesting because, when I drafted on stream, was last week, the days are running together. Completely different strategy, completely different mindset. Here's another mindset. And so the goal really, Chuck, for us to do so many of these streams, sure, it can be repetitive. We get questions, why are you drafting so early? But it really is for us to, one, try it out ourselves, but two, just give you as many tools in your belt to build profitable, differentiated best ball lineups. And sometimes we'll come on stream and we'll mess up a draft, and we're going to do 100 drafts or whatever it is, and that's very likely to happen. So I would say anyone watching this live or on replay who's been tuning in or just started tuning in, that's the purpose of these drafts live, is to show you what we're thinking and give you different thought processes.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so, as our strategy evolves over the summer, another thing that you reminded me of too is how our player takes change. Week to week, we see new information on someone. Maybe we see a tidbit out of camp. We have to be willing to change our minds on guys and just adjust. And I'm okay saying that, like, maybe I was wrong on someone. All right, I'm just going to stop drafting him, or maybe I'm not in enough on this guy. Like, I just discovered a new love for Drake London over the weekend, and now I'm very under the field, so I'm going to be overdrafting him the next couple weeks to try to make up for that.
Yeah, that's a great example because new information comes along, or you just open your mind up and you read some stuff, you listen to some stuff, or you just realize a bias that you may have had. I will also say, as I mentioned at the top of the show, preseason DFS coming soon, and we know that's a profitable time, one of our favorite times of the year. But you may be wondering, if you haven't played preseason DFS, like, why the hell would I play preseason DFS? One, there is an edge because we do all the legwork. But if you're playing best ball, Chuck, playing preseason DFS is also extremely helpful because there's no more, you're getting as much camp news as possible, and now you can use it for multiple avenues. You don't have to just use it for preseason. You don't have to just use it for best ball. You really become fully immersed in what's happening in the NFL world, and it really does help your game.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love NFL preseason. Just like NBA preseason, NBA Summer League. Mentioned top of the stream, but we are doing Summer League content starting on Friday. So,
yeah, for those of you watching, we'll have a daily plug, and I'm trying to talk to Jack, who is the architect of our lineup builder. There is I would say better than 50% chance that the lineup builder will be active for the Summer League.
nice.
So that adds a new tool. And Chuck, for those, again, I know this is the best ball stream as we wait for your next pick. Summer League is extremely fast moving with the news, so it is difficult to keep up, and just have as many tools as possible to try to get the players who are even playing, not taking zeros in your lineup, is the most important thing.
Yeah, talk about like how slow the news is in NFL right now versus how quick it's going to be in Summer League the next week. It's going to be fun.
Yes, it will be.
I've seen Jahmyr Gibbs falling a lot recently. Like, he was typically always going at the 11-12 spot, but I've been seeing him fall 15, 16, 17 a lot recently. How in are you on Jahmyr Gibbs, especially if he's falling there?
Yeah, I saw some work from JJ Zacharyson, who said that you're looking for guys to fade or be underweight on in early rounds at running back. It's guys who also have a backfield mate that are drafted in the first 8 rounds. Jahmyr Gibbs will qualify, obviously, with the concept being that this guy is being drafted high enough to take enough work away where this guy may not pay off first or second round value. So I get it from that perspective. So yeah, I don't know. I see the case. I understand why he's dropping a little bit. I don't know if that's specifically the reason why. Also, Jalen Hurts just fell here, so that's pretty sweet for you.
Yeah. I could try and push it around the turn, but we already got a gift, so we're just going to take it.
Just take it.
There's no one here I'm really dying to draft anyway. I did notice Jaden Reed is only 3% owned with CeeDee Lamb, so I'm probably going to just try and get him. And
Okay,
then
cool.
with him and DJ Moore being different, I probably don't really have to worry about much anymore. Maybe I'll try and grab one running back from the other side of the board in a couple rounds.
Yeah, that sounds good. And again, you don't have to get too crazy. So I like that. And even though they don't have playoff correlation, Green Bay and Chicago, they play each other twice a year, so you get a little extra boost with the divisional matchups.
And I'm pretty sure if I can manage to get I don't know if Kenneth Walker is going to make it to my next pick, but if I do get Kenneth Walker at my next pick, we can get that beautiful, 3 of the 4 guys from that beautiful round robin playoff correlation: Green Bay, Minnesota, Chicago, and Seattle.
Yes. I mean, the nice thing about Seattle is if you're correlating with them, they have guys at every step of the draft. I think we talked about this before, but you can get DK early, JSN or Kenneth Walker in the mid rounds. You miss it out. You get Lockett. Missed out on Lockett. I still got Charbonnet, who profiles as a grade 0 RB back, and miss all those guys. You still got Noah Fant late. So I really like you can differentiate a lot of ways if you're stacking with Seattle or correlating with Seattle.
And I kind of feel that way with Green Bay and Minnesota too. There's guys at all points of the draft that I'm okay taking.
For sure. Green Bay especially, because you can go. I mean, I checked after my slow draft hell completed today. Thankfully, I checked all my exposures. Do you know who my highest exposed tight end as of right now?
Tight end. I hope it's not Tucker
Mm.
Kraft since we're talking about Green Bay.
It is not. It is the actual tight end one in Green Bay. It's Luke Musgrave.
Oh shit. Okay. I asked I think it was Chris. I was asking him if he could talk me into Luke Musgrave. You want to talk me into him?
Yeah, so we're looking for like Trey McBride type guys, right? Musgrave productive when he was on the field. Got hurt late, and that kind of caused some playing time, split time late in the season. Had a big showdown win with him late in the season because he ended up playing a little bit more than he had been coming off that injury. But I'm just looking for guys in good offenses who have shown the ability to catch passes and be dynamic. Muddy wide receiver room. Musgrave is a guy that I think you have to target if you're going late round tight end, or if you're just looking for an upside tight end late. Yes, he could very well just be in the mix, play 50% of the snaps, not get a ton of targets. But I think there's a real chance he plays 80, 90% and becomes a number two, number three option on that team. And that would be fantastic for where he's being drafted with Jordan Love, especially if we expect him to continue to move forward.
Okay. Yeah, I think Luke Musgrave is literally the last tight end, maybe TJ Hawkinson, but the last tight end that I have not been talked into yet. So you might have just done it right there. I was taking a lot of Tucker Kraft early. I've kind of stepped away from doing that, but how worried are you about him taking away snaps? Do you think they're going to play a lot of two tight end sets?
Yeah, I don't know. Kraft profiles is more like this H back type of guy, whereas Musgrave was your typical tight end. And I was drafting Kraft in a couple round 18s. But I don't know what this pec injury is that he sustained. They said he might be ready for camp. I don't know what that's about.
Mm-hmm.
Any
Mm-hmm.
delay in his recovery just is another boost for Luke Musgrave. And as you and I were talking the last time I streamed with you, is we're looking for these first and second year guys, and Musgrave certainly qualifies there. So just another checkbox tick for Musgrave as a late round dart.
I mean, I'm in on like 7 guys from Green Bay's offense,
I
so
know. So one of them's got to hit, right? I assume.
yeah, yeah. Still taking Bo Melton in the last round. We'll see.
um, Yeah, Bo Melton. That was. I know we talked about him for maybe 1 week total. So just move some of that exposure up a little higher in the draft and get some Luke Musgrave on your team.
Yeah, it's just the he was the flavor of the week like 3 weeks ago,
He was. He was. He was.
and we'll
So what are you thinking here for this pick?
uh 4 receivers and a quarterback. I would have loved it if Kenneth Walker made it to me. Depends. I mean, if George Kittle's there, I'm going to take George Kittle, of course. But I don't know. Can you like? Are you? How do you feel about Dave Montgomery and Alvin Kamara?
Eh, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
if they're there and they correlate, I'll take them. I'm not like thrilled by either one. Although Montgomery, I think, has more upside built into his profile. Kamara, I'm not sure what could happen for him to like if Gibbs goes down, Montgomery becomes like a top 3 round pick. If Kendre Miller goes down, I'm not sure Kamara changes that much. Maybe I'm wrong there though. So I mean, I would be more inclined to take David Montgomery than Kamara.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take Najee Harris.
Cool.
I have a 16% Kamara, 10% Montgomery. Like I know this is a little bit too much Kamara, but a lot of the time when I get to this pick, he just seems like the obvious guy to me.
Yeah, I've been taking in this range. Been taking mostly Brian Thomas, JSN, um, maybe a little bit lower running backs. I agree. Let me look here now. So I have through 61 drafts according to my Underdog exposures. Kamara, I have in. Maybe I'll just search and see. 4.9%. Highest stone running back for me. All right, so let's. After you took your pick, right? You took your 2 picks.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, so we'll go through my highest exposed at each position right now. Number 1 quarterback is. We talked about it in staff chat a little bit yesterday or the day before, but Geno Smith is my number 1. And then he is followed by Herbert, Jaden Daniels, and Jordan Love. And I'm not thrilled by Herbert. And Love is kind of in a weird spot as a pocket
Mm-hmm.
passer in that late, but and Jaden Daniels makes sense. But these are guys that are just so easy to stack at any
Yep.
points of the draft. I think that's the key of these 4 guys.
Yeah, I'm trying to catch up on Jaden Daniels, but I definitely have a bunch of those other guys.
Running back, we have Zach Charbonnet, who I was in on last year, and I don't
Mhm.
think he did anything to deter me from taking him again this year. Second year guy, Chase Brown, second year guy, Vidal, first year guy, Jaleel McLaughlin, second year guy, and then I have Josh Jacobs, which I've beginning of the offseason, I was like, I'm not thrilled with playing Josh Jacobs' price, but then he was a third round pick, and now he's dropping fifth and sixth round. I'm taking him when I need correlation or I need a running back. So again, I like him in the fifth. Not thrilled with it, but I'm not sure I'll continue to keep drafting him.
I don't mind it. Yeah. I'm having trouble clicking on him myself, but I will get there. We're getting around to all the Green Bay guys anyway.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's see. Of the running backs, guys drafted in the first 8 rounds, I have the least of is Kamara, 4.9%, Derrick Henry, 4.9%, Kenneth
Mhm.
Walker, 4.9%, Joe Mixon, 4.9%.
So you're in on Seattle, but you're not in on Kenneth Walker, or you just prefer guys that go around him?
Yeah, it's just I think I prefer guys that go around him and or he's being drafted a little bit earlier than I'm expecting every time, and maybe I just need to realize that he's being drafted early sixth. Sometimes I'm waiting or thinking I can get him around later. It never happens. So, but this is the same boat I was in last year, where I was like Kenneth Walker. They brought in Charbonnet. This is a new coaching staff, so we're not really sure how they're going to use these guys. I guess in that sense, I would rather just take the cheaper guy, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, the thesis is the same that it was last year. If the starter goes down, Charbonnet is a smash.
Right.
So I probably need to get a little bit more Charbonnet myself.
Yes, this entire stream is just me spitting propaganda to you get to get more of my guys on your teams.
This is a good thing. I mean, most of the other streams are me just telling people to draft Ty Chandler and Marshawn Lloyd every time. So this is better.
I do have those guys above average too. So
Nice, nice.
yeah,
It's weird with them moving up in ADP so much, but like I still prefer clicking them over the other guys, even with their new ADPs.
I do too. That's the thing. It's like I thought they were great values before. Now they're just like they're still good values to me. So I don't mind it.
So I did what I talked about earlier, taking a running back from the other side of the board. In my opponent's drafts, only 2% drafted Najee with CD Lamb. So I think we already accomplished like the uniqueness if we were,
Yep.
going for. I took Brian Thomas. Chris is super in on him. I saw a tweet that was hyping him up, and then you mentioned him. So that's three things.
Yeah. Yep. Keep taking them.
Yeah, he's a great value. I mean, Lad McConkey put out another bet last night on his under yards for the season, still at 775, which kind of worries me if the Sharps haven't bet that down, but it's okay.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I haven't been in on the legal prop game or the illegal prop game in a long time. So I'm not sure how many sharps are betting season long just to tie their money up.
Right,
Um,
right.
so I don't know. I mean, either way, just I like your premise there.
I mean, I'm just going to go with Tony Pollard here. Kind of want to get another running back. I think he's very undervalued, as you can see from I'm drafting 47% of my Tony Pollard teams have a CD Lamb. Or
Jeez.
47% of my CD Lamb teams have Tony Pollard. I can never remember which it is, but either way, this is like
One is way better than the other. So,
yeah, like these two are very tied to each other in my portfolio right now, which isn't great.
remember, Tony Pollard's on Tennessee now, so you don't get that correlation with Dallas.
Yeah, I know, man. Do you remember last year our Super Stream team that made the finals? We took Pollard over CD
Yeah, I
Lamb.
know. Yeah, what a disaster. We might have won.
It's $150,000. No, I'm just kidding. Something could have been
Dude, it
different.
might
We
have
might
been.
have drafted a different player.
That's true. That is very true. For those who don't know the legend, we had a super stream. What was it like? Literally like a couple days before the season started, right?
Yeah, it was the very last stream that we did.
It was me, Chuck, Chris, and even Ken, who does some stuff for us. He wrote our League of Legends guide actually, but he was on the stream, and we picked an entire team together. We finished top 30, top 50, whatever it was in the Best Ball Mania finals, and
Yeah.
it was quite the sweat.
Yeah, it was pretty funny, dude. I didn't think it was going to cash for much, and then Chris Godwin got like a late touchdown or something that put us in the top 100, and
Yep.
so close, but so far.
All right, let's see. So I talked about my running backs. Here are the receivers I have the highest of. And based on our stream we did last, Chuck, you should not be surprised that my highest exposed receiver so far is Jalen McMillan. I'm going to keep clicking him.
Yep.
Jordan Addison, which I absolutely hate. I do not like. We talk about second year guys, great. rookie quarterback as a number 2 option. I'm not so sure I like Addison that much. Ridley, Keenan Allen, Jalen Polk, Jalen Waddle, Roma Dunze, Shakir, Rondale Moore, Ricky Pearsall. I have a lot of guys in this range. But anyways, clearly heavy on Chicago, and Jalen McMillan is the receivers that I like.
Yeah, I haven't been drafting Ricky Pearsall that much at all, but I mean, Ayuk gets traded. His value is probably going to go up a bunch. I don't think Ayuk gets traded anymore at this point, though.
I don't think so either. And you and I talked about this last week.
Yeah.
This is more of an injury hedge than anything. We're playing for second half of the season, not beginning of the season. So that's my theory there. But not a perfect prospect by any means. So it could very easily be a 0 the entire season.
And you mentioned you said Khalil Shakir.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
Do you have him as a wide receiver 1?
I do, but that is my Khalil Shakir bias peeking through. He feels like the most complete receiver on that team. So, yeah, I mean, inside, outside, deep, short. Curtis Samuel, more of a gadgety. I understand he has a larger route tree, but more of a gadgety type guy. Keon Coleman, very raw. Chase Claypool, Marcus Valdez-Scantling, no thanks. Shakir's the guy for me. Has been in the offense, knows the offense, so I think Shakir's the guy.
I haven't seen a gritty tweet in a couple weeks. Forgot about Chase Claypool. Yeah, I'm not drafting the rookie, but I'm taking Curtis Samuel and Khalil Shakir. But I like what you said that like maybe Curtis Samuel feels more like a Rashid Shaheed, where Khalil Shakir is the Chris Olave.
If that happens, we would love that comparison. That would be fantastic.
He was so good at the end of last season, though, Shakir.
Dude, I know. In Showdown and even in some smaller slates, Shakir was pretty important. So, let me see here. Top 8 round guys that I don't have a ton of. Just luck of the draw. I really don't have any Garrett Wilson, so I will try to rectify that here shortly. And then on that related note, very related. Keon Coleman, I have just 3% up so far.
Nice. Are those the only guys you're super under on?
Yeah, by choice, luck of the draw. I'm under on Marvin Harrison as well.
Okay.
I need to get more of him. I've only have as much Green Bay love as we have. I only have 5% Christian Watson, and to me, it's like, am I going to take? Yes, he has high upside, but the injury history with the hamstrings and the volatility, and when I can get a guy a few rounds later in Dobbs, a few rounds later in Dontavian Wicks that could have a higher role, like I think that's why that exposure looks that way.
Yeah, I was like drafting him and Reed so much at the beginning of draft season, and I've come off a little bit, but they still feel pretty comfortable. Blake Corum, Chase Brown, Zeke, Austin Eckler.
All of them, every single one.
All right, we'll go with
whichever
Zeke
one has
first.
a correlation here. Yeah.
Yeah, get that correlation with my Philly stack and CD Lamb. I can't get in. I don't know if I'll ever be able to get in on Blake Corum without any kind of news.
He's being drafted really high right now. I mean, median outcome, he will not hit ADP value. No. But if Kyron goes down, like, and again, we haven't seen him play in the NFL, so like he could suck. But he's one of the highest drafted backups they've had. So, yeah, man, it's a tough fade because if Kyron goes down or something weird happens, like you're going to be drawing pretty thin if you don't have much Blake Corum.
Yeah, he'll be the Kyron for this season, basically.
Yeah, but you have to take him a lot earlier, so it's really tough.
I'm having the same thing with Trey Benson. Not really taking Trey Benson, but James Conner is my favorite running back at ADP.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, do you start hedging some? Like, you don't want your entire season hedging on? I mean, relying on James Conner staying healthy.
Yeah, and I get that hedge from when Trey Benson falls a few picks past ADP, or if at ADP, if he has really good playoff correlations that I want. But I'm never just randomly taking him. It's just in those specific instances. So I do have a hedge, but like I talk about this with Chris all the time. You know, I might be like 8-1 James Conner to Trey Benson when really it should be even 4-1's kind of extreme.
Probably like 2-1 is the most realistic.
Yeah, and like a lot of combos like that. Like I just passed on Austin Eckler too. Austin Eckler versus Brian Robinson, but I kind of like both of them.
I do too, and maybe that's wrong with a rookie mobile quarterback, and maybe they most. I mean, it's very possible that they both siphon value from each other. Daniel siphons enough value from both of them, and they both are just not great fantasy plays. I feel like it's more likely that one of them exceeds value. Which one it is it the guy we saw running 7 miles per hour down the sidelines last year in Austin Eckler, or is it the guy who's probably not going to catch any passes in Brian Robinson? Uh, I don't know, but Cliff Kingsbury offense, I mean, it's a really wide open situation.
Yeah, and I have more Brian Robinson, but I have way too much Austin Eckler than feels comfortable.
Agree. I mean, this is a guy we were drafting round 1, round 2 last year. I can't remember exactly, but right.
I wasn't.
Okay, but somebody was drafting him round 1, round 2 last year, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I mean, it's really easy for him to beat this ADP.
Yeah, that is true.
Jahan Dotson, another guy I'll probably have 0% of.
He feels tough, and he's in the same boat, right? Like rookie quarterbacks, and this doesn't really jive with my Chicago exposure, but rookie quarterbacks tend to provide less fantasy-friendly wide receivers, mobile especially. So, Jahan Dotson, really tough situation to exceed value this year.
But the guy next to him, Darnell Mooney, a guy I was recently talked into the whole Atlanta offense, really. And you mentioned Rondale Moore is one of your favorite last round picks.
Especially this time, as you and I talked about last time, is round 18 picks that were pretty much guaranteed to see the field and won't get cut. Is veterans who were traded for. Rondale Moore fits the bill or signed recently, and so I think Rondale Moore is a guy that could, he could be like a Curtis Samuel type player. Like, and then Samuel's being drafted way higher.
Nice. I had a 0% Rondale Moore last week. Now I have, I don't know, 0.5%. I've clicked him a couple times, so coming around. Nick Chubb, are you in on Nick Chubb at all?
If he's falling past ADP, I'll take him. Not willing to bet against that guy in his medical history. I mean, the guy is a beast. So
Nick Chubb, Jalen Wright, Jaleel McLaughlin. Maybe we can get one of those other guys next time. I've been adding Jalen Wright just based on, I know nothing about him as a player, just based on the guys he plays behind and the offense he's in.
He's fast.
That's He's fast. That's what I understand.
He needs an injury to one guy, not two. Just needs an injury to one guy to be relevant. So
two guys who are, I hate to say likely to get injured, have a history of getting injured.
Sure. Speaking of tight ends, though, right there, Freiermuth, one of my highest exposed tight ends, next to Luke Musgrave, as I mentioned. Isaiah Likely, I'm drafting a ton of, especially in late tight end builds. I mean, he's just a guy that I think you have to have at least a field, if not more. If Andrews goes down, we've seen what he can do, and we can get him so late. The other one's Jonnu Smith, who provides an athletic element to the tight end position in an explosive offense that has lacked an explosive element at tight end in Miami. So Jonnu Smith is a guy I've drafted, especially more recently.
I like that. I had been drafting, or I'd been fading Freiermuth, but I've been trying to add him more recently. I'll probably end up with the field at least on him. I guess I have 2% Luke Musgrave. It's not great, but which of these guys are you avoiding?
I was avoiding Hawk just because of his previous ADP. He's dropped a little bit, but guys I'm avoiding here. Brock Bowers is going earlier. I'm not drafting him as much. Goddard, I'm really only drafting with Jalen Hurts. That's really about it. Like, I don't have a ton of these guys in this range, like Ferguson, or the range before this, Ferguson, Njoku, Ingram. I'm like right around the field, maybe a little less. I'm mostly going either elite tight end or late round tight end.
Okay. With Ferguson and Njoku, I'm mostly only taking them past ADP, and Ingram I'm only taking when he falls like a full round past ADP. I don't mind like Goddard and Schultz. I kind of feel like there's a tier break after them as like if I miss out on all the other tight ends, I feel pretty comfortable with them as my tight end one.
I'm fair with I agree with that. I don't have a problem with that whatsoever. The other guy that I'm starting to draft more of, and sometimes he goes undrafted, is Juwan Johnson. Still don't know the extent of his injury. Needs foot surgery apparently. No idea what the hell that means. But I think it was, I don't want to misattribute who said this, but you're looking for guys who you can draft really late that no one's drafting because they're hurt that can put up big scores. I mean, Juwan Johnson, especially if you draft 3 tight ends, like Juwan Johnson, even if he starts the season on PUP, this is a guy that we've seen have 2 touchdown games in important weeks. I understand why his ADP has dropped, but dude, like potentially starting tight end in the second half of the year and is good. Like, I think it's a guy you have to click on a bunch.
Yeah, and I'm below the field right now, but he's a guy that I wasn't taking him before, but he's a guy I'm consciously trying to add right now, especially in 3 tight end teams. Like there's reports he might be ready for week 1, and it's kind of same thing as Rashi, like my my whatever you want to call it, how much I'm drafting Rashi Rice. It's just if these guys play from week 1, they're just such smash values.
Oh my god, I know. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So we'll see. The next positive Juwan Johnson report will shoot him back up to, because before his injury report, he was like what, like round 12 or something.
I don't think he was that high, but
Okay.
he fell at least 40 spots in ADP. So
Yeah.
whatever 215 minus 40 is. Juwan Johnson. It gets kind of awkward on the other sites where Taysom Hill's a tight end still, because I'll have teams with like
I know.
I don't know, Kittle, Taysom Hill, and Juwan Johnson, but it feels great.
Yeah, it's yeah. It's really, I mean, Taysom, he's quarterback on Underdog, right?
Yeah, he's a quarterback over here, unfortunately.
But he's a tight end on DraftKings, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna go Geno Smith. Yeah, he's a tight end on DraftKings and Drafters, which is stupid because he was just way too powerful for last year. If you're playing the marathon, I guess Underdog, he's still a quarterback, so never mind. Sorry.
Yeah.
If you're playing on the other sides, Taysom Hill is a cheat code.
Nice little Geno Lockett. We can get Noah. If you have Noah Fant, like just this the ultimate. This is the theme of the summer, at least on our streams. Seattle stacks.
Yeah, we got the beautiful Seattle stack. We got the unique combination with our first round pick. We have other really good playoff core, like almost fully correlated with our quarterbacks in the playoffs, which is awesome. We
Yeah, let's see.
have
So
4 games of correlation. It's pretty great.
I love that. So Philly's schedule. Washington is the one player you're missing, right? From that correlation, and then Seattle you're missing. Oh, you got full Seattle, so beautiful.
Yeah, I don't know that we're gonna find the Washington
This,
exposure though.
and this is where I struggle too. It's like sometimes I do it to mix up exposures. I don't want to do it every time, but like you get to around 16, 17, 18. I'm not super thrilled about a lot of guys, and I'm just auto clicking McMillan and some of these other guys. But if I need a Washington exposure, like do I take Luke McCaffrey, who otherwise I would literally never take, or
Yeah,
do I take like Zach Ertz or Ben Sinnott in 3 tight end builds? Sure, I'll do it then, but I'm not going to take a fourth or fifth receiver just to do it. But there's some guys where if I need to get a couple percent exposure, because McCaffrey rookie, we don't exactly know, new coaching staff, anything can happen there. So I'm willing to take a shot on something like that.
yeah, I have that same struggle too. Just I don't think I've clicked on Luke McCaffrey at all, except for when I needed the correlation. What I'm looking at right now is I could take, or whoever I was looking at just got taken actually. Oh, and Isaiah likely got taken, so never mind.
Well,
Would you stop?
now you have an
What?
excuse to take Luke McCaffrey. So
All right. Um, are you going with a third tight end here? Schultz, Fant, Jonnu Smith?
I think so um,
Yeah, kind of like this.
with Hurts in a 2 quarterback room, and yes, I think I would.
I'm gonna take McCaffrey first because if I miss on Jonnu, I can still get Mike Gesicki, who
Yep.
has a couple of weeks of playoff correlation here. Juwan
Yep.
Johnson is just such a good tight end 3 pick. We do have Green Bay correlation, and if we take Luke McCaffrey, actually, we can take Juwan Johnson with that correlation. I might go for that instead.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Look, this is how we do things. Come on. All because of Luke McCaffrey unlocked it all.
Dude, we could. What if we have like a 5-hour stream and we all go in a bunch of slow drafts and we just go through our slow drafts and really take our time, figure out the best pick?
Just have a marathon. Yeah, Jesus Christ. Okay, we could definitely do that. I'm not sure I'll be involved in all 5 hours, but I guarantee there are people who would watch all 5 hours.
I love that. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate the viewers out there. We got or dude in the chat, Sup Jose, and we got Chris. Chubb Club, rise up. Nice.
What's up, Chris? What's going on?
Yeah, you talked me into Nick Chubb. A funny moment came up yesterday. I think we talked about Van Jefferson on the last stream, and I brought it up with Chris yesterday. He was cracking up.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, he got the positive camp report from a beat report. Now, when you do NFL preseason, as long as we have, there are beat reporters you trust and there are beat reporters you do not trust. This beat reporter that put out the Van Jefferson report is on our do not trust list, so I would not put that into action by any means.
All right, nice. Because I was a week or 2 away from starting to click Van Jefferson, so that's good. We missed Luke
No,
McCaffrey. how that
God
happened.
damn it. What are we going to do now?
We could go for Jalen McMillan. Dallas correlation, week 16.
We'll take it. I mean, McCaffrey was a skeleton key here, but that's fine. We'll take McMillan.
I'm kind of interested in Clyde Edwards-Helaire too.
I'm starting to take him more too. I wasn't taking him at all, but then I realized that he's probably locked in as the running back too on one of the best offenses in the league. So
yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take him. Full playoff correlation as a bonus. I did want a 6 running back on this team.
yeah, and this is the perfect type of team that gets 6 running backs when you don't take your first one until round 6.
Yeah, and like I still have 3 guys. I'm pretty sure are the starter, and Ty Chandler is gonna get work. Nick Chubb could be the starter, and then CEH.
I think honestly though, Chubb is the guy who necessitates a 6 running back here because if
Mhm.
he's not ready to start the season, you're going to need someone else in there. So
Yeah, because Ty Chandler, if he puts up 6 points a game the first couple weeks, it's not great.
right. That's pretty optimistic too, potentially.
6? I mean, that's a lot of stuff happening in half PPR.
Yeah, I would say 6. Man, if you're getting 6 points a week from Chandler, he's a great pick. Until yeah,
Hopefully. I mean, it's my most exposed player.
I mean he's explosive, and there's no. I guess they signed Aaron Jones, right? So they could give him a bulk of the work, but there's no saying that they don't split the work. It's very possible.
Yeah, and I mean, this applies to Green Bay, but it's one of the reasons why I'm so in on Marshawn Lloyd. It'd be a disaster if he's not the RB2, but I'm convinced he has standalone value.
Dude, he has to, and there's no fucking. Sorry for cursing, but there's no way that they AJ Dillon cannot be it anymore. This is not. They've seen enough.
Dude, that was the most fired up I've ever seen you in an AJ Dillon take. Let's go. Sorry, AJ Dillon.
I got a lot of Josh Jacobs and Marshawn Lloyd myself, so that's why. Sorry, AJ Dillon and his family.
Yeah, AJ Dillon, he smoked me last year.
He was going relatively high last year, right? He's like one of those 8 to 12 round backs we were trying to get in our 0 running back and hero running back builds, right?
Yeah, and I think I called him like my Tony Pollard pick, guy to emerge that's better than the starter. I was super wrong on that one.
Sorry, man. We're wrong all the time.
Yeah, we're definitely wrong a lot, but the things we're right about more powerful than the things we're wrong about.
You got that right. That is the theme of the show, if not the summer. Really quick, Devontae Walker. Are you taking any of him in Baltimore? I don't know much about him, to be honest.
I don't know anything else about him either, but I'm not taking Rashad Bateman. And sometimes Baltimore has good playoff correlations at the end of a draft. So I am taking Devontae. Yeah. Chris brought up Rashad Bateman. No, Rashad Bateman and OBJ yesterday, and I'm so out on.
Yeah, Bateman. I am taking Walker, and because I'm not in on OBJ, I'm taking Malik Washington.
I've taken Malik Washington.
I know nothing about, but fits the bill of rookie on a great team. So,
and Devontae Walker. I'm drafting a lot of Singletary for the Giants correlation pit. All the running backs in Houston. I have a Houston guy on every team, so yeah, he's a guy I have 8% of. Not bad. And I am the Kai. Any Aguilar? I think Aguilar got talked about. Chris likes Aguilar too. Are you in on him?
Yeah, I think he's a great round 18, round 20 pick on other sites too. Like, he doesn't die, won't go away. So he's gonna have some games where he scores a touchdown or two. So that's worthwhile in that range. So I don't hate it.
He does feel more comfortable in the offense. So.
Well, it's hard to deny that then.
Yeah, I haven't clicked him yet. I'm not sure.
Well, here's your chance.
If Aguilar is the number 3 though in training camp, I mean, I guess it's between him and Devontae Walker.
Yeah, I mean, and if you don't trust Bateman, like,
good point,
there's a very real chance that after Zay Flowers, there's just a rotation of guys, and Aguilar is certainly the most proven of the bunch.
Might be willing to take a shot on him here. I don't. Yeah, we do have the correlation here. It wouldn't be a bad one. OBJ, good correlation, but we're not doing that.
Yeah, I mean, he could. I mean, OBJ, I get it, talent wise back in the day, but I'm just not sure. I'm not sure. I don't know if this was coaching staff related or if it was health preservation related. He really couldn't get into a significant role last year with Baltimore, right? He was never playing really more than 50% of the snaps. So, new team. Will that change? Maybe. It's just hard to bet on that. I'd rather take a guy who has a chance of 80% snaps in some weeks.
Nice. Yep. We got Chris in chat. Aguilar Club, rise up. Yeah, I have him queued. I'm not sure I'm going to take him, but if I don't find someone better.
We lied about the point of these streams. The point I said initially was to give you all these different strategies. The actual point is throw as much propaganda at Chuck as possible to convince him to draft new players every week.
Yeah, I mean, once we get past like round 14, it kind of just, goes a little off the rails.
All right, Chuck, here's why you have to draft Alan Lazard.
Chris brought him up yesterday too. For some reason, his ADP jumped, so he's showing up on my draft boards now, and I don't understand why.
I was joking, so I don't know why that is. Maybe it's the Aaron Rodgers effect. Rodgers loves the guy, brought him over. Lazard was miserable, as any Jets fan can attest to last year, but maybe Aaron Rodgers is the guy that's like, my buddy Allen's got to play, and that can be worth something.
It's possible. This dude jumped to like 200 ADP on drafters, and I thought it was an error, but it's been a week. So
shit.
I'm gonna take Malik Washington. I know we were hyping up Nelson Aguilar. Sorry, guys in the chat and Chris, but yeah, I'll go with the rookie who could be better than Nelson Aguilar.
Sweet.
Could be a 0.
Yeah. Could be a 0, but he could be better.
Yep. It's epitome of best ball strategy.
All right. So how do you feel about this draft, Chuck?
I think this is a pretty good team, right? We got our early wide receivers. We got some good running backs. Jalen Hurts.
Tons of correlation.
Yeah, tons of correlation. We got the uniqueness. This is probably one of my favorite BBMs I've drafted.
I agree. I'm looking forward to the finale, the finalists here.
Yeah, appreciate you joining me for the stream. Anything else you want to mention before we get out of here?
No, just to recap everything. If you're still watching, super appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel to get notified when we stream new drafts. Like the video, free way to support us. NBA Summer League starts on Friday. We'll have plugs and likely a lineup builder, still TBD. NFL preseason starts soon. And PGA Major Championship, the last one of the season, next week for Underdog Pick'em, Underdog Best Ball, and as well as DFS as well. So lots of stuff coming, never stops, and we're here for you.
And just in case you haven't signed up for Underdog, use our promo code Occupy2, the number 2, and they'll match your deposit. I believe we're still doing a $250 deposit bonus match, which is we know we talk about it every stream, but it's the best deal in fantasy sports. So if you're not signed up for Underdog, sign up, draft a team, post it in our Discord. And last comment, Chris, going to get Chuck to draft Keyshawn Booty before the season starts. I mean, there's a lot of players you could talk me into. I don't know if that's one of them, and I had a ton of them last year. So
all we need is one camp report. We can get you.
Yeah, Keyshawn and Juju about to. No, we're done. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you for the next stream. Thanks.